Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. It's time for a banging series from the the Global StarCraft League. It is the GSL semi-finals, a best of 5 between Classic in the bottom left and GUMIHO in the top right. And I'm excited because GUMIHO brought out some very creative builds in this series. I did already glimpse some of the games, but I wasn't watching super duper closely all the details. I did doze off during the grand finals of GSL, as I am a bit of an early morning person, and I kind of fell asleep during the finals when that one was almost over. But no spoileries, just saying keep yourselves excited because this series had some really cool build orders, and I think we can really learn some stuff. And that's pretty much every GUMIHO series ever, but it's especially exciting because Classic always has very creative, kind of different builds he'll mix into a series himself. You mix that with GUMIHO, who's just always playing psychotic, strange styles of StarCraft, and it's a match made in heaven. Reaper's on the way, factory starting up. SCVs and mules are going to be pumping on out. We've got the probes rallying over there to the second gas. Very chilled out opening so far. Has GUMIHO pulled off gas? Yeah, so it looks like a pretty normal expand build. It's a Reaper into factory reactor. He's pulled 3 workers off gas, so he goes down to build a command center starting at about 2 minutes 20. It's a super solid opening. It gives you a lot of variety. I know Protoss players have complained that this opening has so many different follow-ups, and that the Cyclone has just added an extra new thing to worry about. It already could be a Widowmine drop, could be Hellions, could be a proxy starport to do a really fast Hellion drop. You could just make a ton of Reaper Hellion, which it seems like is what we're seeing right now, is at least extra Hellion on the way. And it's very difficult to figure out exactly what the Terran's going to follow up with. On the other hand, the Terran sacrifices a lot of economy to open up all these different avenues. Reaper here threatening the Adept, and it's a Sentry opening. Ooh, Classic playing very safe. So he's going quick Sentry. Now that delays your tech a lot as a Protoss player, but you're playing against GUMIHO, the guy who's known for tricky builds, clever plays, weird, unique strategies. Of course it's important to see what's happening. And not only that, he's also going for a quick Robo. Now, to be fair, that's really smart, because remember, not only is there Reaper and Hellion out, but we know GUMIHO is a master of weird, tricky build orders. Robo gives you an Observer, allows you to see everything, allows you to stop Armory Widowmine drops, and you can build Immortals in case there's any sort of early tank or Cyclone push to shut that down. Hallucinated Phoenix does go across the map here right now. We've got the command center coming up on the natural and a quick third gas. Is this a TvT build? Are we doing Terran versus Terran against a Protoss player? GUMIHO comes in, but with the Shield Battery, the Adept, and the Stalker, he doesn't want to risk diving. He probably could have got past, but because those units can block the entrances, you don't really want to fight the Shield Battery. The Reaper's running away from a single sentry. He could have definitely killed that, but the Stalkers were nearby, so he didn't want to give up any units. And a Raven starts up, as well as 2 Cyclones. This is an absolutely bizarre build order. This is like day 1 of the patch. Cyclone Raven, for those who don't know, oh, hold up. Jumps up to the high ground, and it's a Reaper for a Sentry. Good trade for GUMIHO there, shutting down any future scouting. Now, as I was saying, day 1 of the patch, I was playing custom games against Special, and he was trolling me with Cyclone Raven. And we're getting Interference Matrix as well, where he would literally just lock down all of my Immortals with Matrix and jump on top with Mass Cyclone. Now, crazily enough, because I had those games on day 1, I actually know the counter to this build, assuming GUMIHO keeps building it, and it is literally, you need to stay 2 base, get 4 gases, and you need to go up to High Templar. You don't need Storm, you just need like 1 or 2 High Templar just to feed back the Ravens. It's so, if you can shut down the Ravens that the Terran invests in this early, it will get you so far ahead. The problem is, Classic doesn't have any info. Classic lost the Sentry. He's now building an Observer, but he's built an Immortal first because he was worried about dying. And it's going to take him a while to see that there's Ravens on the map. And if you don't have that, each Raven can lock down 2 Immortals. So I would get a 3rd Raven. If GUMIHO is really committing, which it looks like he is, does he get a 3rd Raven? Nope, just 2. Okay, so he's just going to have 4 Interference Matrices available, but that's massive. And Classic's going for a 3rd and a Robo Bay, which I would argue is not the best tech. You could still make it work with this tech, but you got to realize if you're building Disruptors or Colossi, these are even better targets for the Raven Interference Matrix. So you're actually giving even more power to that, and he's only going to find out in a moment. Classic sees the Heavy Cyclone Raven. This is a super all-in 2-base mech build, guys. There's no 3rd command center. He's building 3 more factories. GUMIHO is going for broke on 2-base. And we're going to go Colossus, +1 attack. Twilight Council does start. And this is all off 2 gateways. Now, I would argue building extra Immortals is still the correct play here. Immortals destroy Cyclones. They're a very tanky, well-rounded unit. I don't think upgrades are that important. I think upgrades and a 3rd base against a 2-base opponent is a really bad call. Now, that's not because Classic's stupid. Classic's scout just got denied. He probably thinks there's a 3rd base building, but he can't confirm it. Someone staying on 2 base with mech is very uncharacteristic. This is super weird. So only with his observer going around the edge of the map will he scout this. But by that point, there's already going to be Blue Flame. Hurricane Thrust is almost finished. We're going to have tanks coming out now. 2 reactors, 2 tech labs, just non-stop Hellion tank, maybe Cyclones mixed in as well to reinforce. Classic is still probing, and that's a problem. Because you do not need, or a problem, as some people would say. Sorry, guys, I don't know. I haven't been to an event with Fear Dragon in a while, and apparently I'm starting to miss the cringe. Never thought I would. Anyways, Hellions and tanks are pumping out. We've got Ravens coming out. It's a scary push, and the probes are not going to help you against this. Building shield batteries is good, but how do you stop this push without the High Templar for the feedback? Basically, sentries could work. If you get 3 sentries, you can force field the army after the interference matrices come down. And then what you can do is you can pull back, wait for the matrices to wear off, and then, yay, your Colossus is still going to be able to fight. But I want to see more Immortals. Maybe Disruptors building as well. Disruptors build pretty quickly, are pretty cheap. They're way cheaper on the minerals than some other units. Templar Archives goes down. He was making a second forge. He cancelled it, makes a Templar Archives. It's a very good call. If he can get out High Templar, feed back the Ravens, it takes so much power away from GUMIHO's army. But if GUMIHO pushes just before High Templar are out, shuts down these power units, it's bad news bears for Classic, who's still adding more. Well, he stopped probing, but he's adding a 5th gas. He needs to do nothing but pump units. He's only got 4 gateways. 3 more warp gates are coming up, so he's going to be on 8 gates in a moment. Liberator Bio Tank. It's a 2-base all-in with a pack of repair SCVs. GUMIHO's looking for a giant shove. Classic does not have that much firepower. Stalkers are not very good units against this. Oh god! Interference Matrix is going down. Both Colossus and the Immortal get locked down. There is one more Matrix available. He locks down the 4th Robo unit. There are so many Hellions to buffer. They're all light units. None of them take bonus damage from anything except the Colossus. The Stalkers, the Immortals do not do bonus damage against Hellions, and that's why the Hellion buffer is so amazing. The Liberator Siege, the tanks get an amazing position. He splits Hellions into the 3rd. Those probes are getting absolutely roasted and toasted, and that is a disaster. He's going to try and warp in Stalkers up there. The Hellions thought about fighting it, but said, nah, Stalkers and shield batteries, no reason to engage that. Liberator's going to move in further and further. This is becoming very claustrophobic right now for Classic. He's going to have to engage this, but he doesn't have the numbers. The Zealots are just going to get obliterated by the Blue Flame Hellion mass. A few Zealots and Stalkers come in for the flank, but the Colossus are getting killed by the army straight up. Some of these new libs aren't even siege. The Stalkers go down. There's still 5 siege tanks, and that's a dead Disruptor. That's going to be it. This is what I said. Robo Bay is not actually the play. The Colossus are very bad units. They're okay against the Hellions, but only if you can protect them from the Ravens, and you need those early High Templar, and it's actually totally valid to stay on 2-base. The problem Classic ran into here is he did not realize that this is a 2-base play. And he basically just probed up thinking, oh yeah, we should be okay. But GUMIHO is the sort of madman who's like, no, it's an 8-minute 2-base mech all-in. Welcome to Psychopath Town, and with a few libs and tanks rallying in, the siege part of that army gets out of control very quickly. Auto turrets go down, the Hellion Cyclone going to clean this up, and I don't think there's enough damage output there. Classic's going to try and recall some units up here, and the tanks will siege. Oh, is he actually going to lose this section of his army? GUMIHO only has part of his army up here. This might be a slight mistake, but no, he brings a few more libs. The tanks are not getting taken out. That's the most important part of the army, and it looks like finally one siege tank goes down, but takes out the Zealot in the process. Liberator's removing this base. You can see the Colossus is very good at moving and shooting against the Hellion Cyclone army, shaving off units from afar. But if you don't stop the interference matrix, then, man, they just dive on top. The Cyclone Hellion buffering so well, and GUMIHO with a very clever build takes game 1. All right. That was a sick, vicious timing there from Gumi Bro. What a legend, mate. What an absolute legend. Classic going to be reeling and going, okay. Colossus, +1 attack, and probing up the 3rd base. It was a little bit too much against the 2-base all-in. Just in terms of raw, like, even if you ignore the composition, the first thing you want to think about when you guys try to dissect and break down defending it and all-in is, wait a second, how much have I committed to economy versus army, right? Or how much have I committed to greed versus safety is another way of wording that. So if you're building lots of gateways, lots of gateway units constantly, lots of robo units constantly, you're investing in a lot of safety, a lot of immediate army, right? But as soon as you're investing in upgrades, that's greed. That's investing in the future. Third base, extra base, and probing it up over your opponent, so you have a 20 worker advantage like you did that game. That's greed as well. Then you're also going Robo Bay tech and the Templar Archives. You know, it's a lot of different things to be going for in one game, especially if you start going for then Blink and Charge as well. So I definitely feel like Classic was a bit overextended due to the scouting deny. That's all about the Raven Cyclone block. Hey, good move with the probe, almost getting an SCV here. It is a double gas opening once again. Probe has been locked inside this base. Now that SCV is one hit from dying, so if he wants to save that, he's either got to keep running it or he's got to repair it. I'm going to send it back to mining right now. Probe, does he recall this? He needs to recall now. Yeah, he saves it. GUMIHO knows he won't kill it in time, so he just moves away. I think it's well worth recalling that probe because you can immediately put it to mining. Got an Adept about to come out of the gateway. Warp Gate on the way, so that tells us it's not going to be a Stargate build. It was Robo first last game. Remember, it was a very conservative opening. It's Adept Sentry again. Wow, okay. Classic is like, hey, this is my solid opening. GUMIHO's a cheeser. I need to scout what he's doing. GUMIHO's going to do crazy stuff. Now, for those who don't know, GUMIHO did just get picked up by Cloud9 the other day. So awesome for them to pick him up right before the GSL semis. Classic playing for Twisted Minds. Twilight Council starts up. Pretty delayed, Twilight. You have a very slow blink with this build, but that's because you put that 100 gas into the sentry. Once again, he's going 3 Reapers, 2 Hellions, but he might actually commit a little bit more to the aggression this time. Last time, because of the shield battery, he backed off. Classic does have a shield battery once again, but he's not as walled off on this side. So unless he builds a gateway over here or something like that, might be able to run past. I imagine he probably builds a gateway at the front of the natural, though. Second gateway and a third gateway go up in the main. Interesting. Okay, so Classic 3 gate, then Blink starts at about 3 minutes 20. 3 aliens and the Reapers coming. 1 Adept, 1 Stalker, 1 Sentry up on the high ground. Does he risk diving here? He could definitely run past, get up the ramp, and kill some stuff. Hallucinations going across the map to scout right now. Adept and the Stalker are going to push this back. GUMIHO may rotate and jump up the cliff. Hallucination sees the third gas. He sees the third gas again. He knows exactly what build this is, guys. GUMIHO's doing the exact same opening. Okay. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But honestly, this is giving Classic such a good chance to shut this down. I don't think GUMIHO was expecting to come across another Sentry opening. I think he thought Classic would change it up after game 1. And he's probably like, damn it, you're not meant to know what I'm doing this early. And yet he's still committing. A lot of players transition when they're scouted out of a kind of gimmicky build like this. Now, like, it's not gimmick, it's a 2-base all-in, guys. It's a 2-base mech all-in. If this ain't a gimmicky build, then I don't know what's up. This is a sort of build that works really well against players the first time they see it. And you know what? It's a very tense moment. Classic on the fly. Will he be able to figure out how to deal with it? Well, he's going Blink earlier this time rather than Robo first. That's going to give him a little bit more maneuverability. And he's still taking a very quick third, though. And a quick Forge. So he's still kind of going quite heavily into the greed. If he goes Robo Bay as well, then he's basically going to do the exact same build and then maybe just go for the faster High Templar for feedback, which is not a terrible adaptation by any means, but definitely a ballsy one. Extra factory starting to go down here. The second Raven is about to come out, and that third factory will build immediately on that tech lab. This build is so ironed out. This is a beautifully tight build. Raven's going to go in for a bit of harassment. I like GUMIHO's choice here to make things kind of awkward for his opponent. And he's going to kill 2 probes. Stalker warping in there will take a fair bit of damage. But actually, no, good blink away. Only takes a little bit of hull damage on that Stalker. And a little bit of lost mining time, but not the end of the world for Classic, who's going charge and +1 armor. Okay, so Classic's decided armor is going to be important. Now, against Cyclones and Hellions, armor's not too bad. I think attack's usually the preferable upgrade, but I guess because the Cyclone attacks so fast, he's figuring armor's good. I still think charge is probably better off with an attack upgrade. Nice blink back micro, gets a Cyclone. Cyclone and an SCV, not too bad. Doesn't quite set that tech lab on fire. Hurricane thrusters and blue flames on the way. So notice that the difference is there's no Robo Bay. He's going 5 gates. Yeah, so he's going to go up to 8 gate Zealot Stalker on 3 gas. So he's saying, let's overwhelm this with pure gateway units. He is taking an extra gas. I don't want to see any more gases beyond that because I really feel he just needs to non-stop build units. Yeah, Raven. Yeah, so basically, he's going to go feedback the Raven off the High Templar, and hopefully he doesn't get hit by anti-armor missile, and then he's just building Immortals, Charge Lots, and Blink Stalkers. And he's just looking to swarm because he knows this attack's coming way ahead of time. He's like, okay, that attack hit me, what, 7:30 last game, I think is when it first arrived. Probably going to be similar this game. Let's start making units. He stopped making probes, 58 workers. Notice he hasn't even fully saturated the third, so like just kind of perfectly tight on that. He queues up 3 more probes, and he misses the move out. Oh no, the observer might have barely seen it, but uh-oh. Oh man, get this army getting across the map without him seeing it's a problem. He's only got 10 Stalkers, an Immortal, an Adept, and a Sentry right now. Classic's thinking about jumping in the main. I don't know if that's the play, man. He's getting attacked at home. He's going to try and recall these. Oh god, Classic, don't lose 2 games in a row to the same build. That would be so embarrassing. GUMIHO with the exact same push. But he doesn't want to push up the ramp. He's going to change angles now. High Templar looking for those feedbacks. There are 2 Ravens. One of them, though, is in the back of the base. He's using it for auto turret harass this time. That's the only real change here for GUMIHO. Zealots are starting to warp in. Classic, he's got +1 armor. He's starting +1 attack. If Classic can just make a whole ton of Zealots, then he'll be good. Raven now up to 6 kills. Got a few more kills there, but it does use almost all of its energy for that. He's F2ing! GUMIHO's going for it! He's F2ing! The Liberators fly a bit in front of the army. A little derpy there from GUMIHO. Anti-armor missile would be an absolute banger, but he doesn't get it down in time. He ends up matrixing both of the Immortals, but not before they get a few shots off, and the Stalkers actually focus-fired one of the tanks. There's only 1 tank still alive here. The other tanks, I don't know where they are. I thought there'd be more tanks here by now. 2 siege tanks have gone down. The Cyclone Alien getting overwhelmed. The Archon stopping the SCVs, just butchering them. The Immortal on the right side, though, very low. Not many units left. Siege tank's going to siege. Cyclone goes down. Extra Cyclone goes down, as does the siege tank. The Liberators may be unkillable. Oh, no! He sieges on the front. The Stalkers blink to the left, and that gets shut down. Classic cuts the Colossus out of the build and absolutely shuts it down. Did he get any feedbacks off? I don't think he did, guys. I would criticize that a little bit. I kind of do wish he had a High Templar or 2 for feedback. Let's see. Did he try? I think his High Templar, or maybe just he warps him into Archons. Fair enough. You want the Archon, but I definitely think if he had a High Templar, a feedback on that Raven would have made this fight even better. But notice he kept things really simple for himself this time, not bothering with the Colossus, and stopping on 57 probes rather than 62 workers on 4 gases. Actually, he did take a 5th gas, but didn't actually end up using it. And that was a much simpler way of dealing with it, just by adjusting his investment into greed versus army. Nicely done there by Classic. GG, well played. Alright. We've got GUMIHO down here in the bottom right side of the map, going for a barracks gas opening. Looks the same. If he does it 3 times in a row, the man's drunk. No, he's sending an SCV on the map. Are we just scouting, or are we checking for proxies? What are we up to, mate? Got a probe going across the map for Classic as well. Both players eyeing out for proxies. Unlikely he's going for a second barracks, is he? He'd have to start it now. He's past 150 minerals. Oh, engineering bay block, actually. Okay, yeah. I'm like, what is this randomly timed SCV? Turns out, guys, it's timed out to be the very... Yeah, this is the new engineering bay block timing. The funny thing is, if you go Nexus before Cybercore, the Nexus is already started when this SCV gets here. But if you go check down here earlier with the probe, which people sometimes do to check if it's eBay block, they actually don't see the guy come in. The probe goes back to the high ground. So the delayed engineering bay block, even though you don't get as much build time, it's so much harder to scout. It's very frustrating for the Protoss to deal with. Is he going to try to get a bit more build time? It's dangerous. Oh, he's going to hop on. Classic. Whoa, Classic, buddy. Little sloppy letting that get so much build time right now. I guess he was maybe harassing with his probe on the other side of the map, but Command Center gets down pre-factory. Interesting. Okay, this is different. Normally, when you go for an eBay block, you go Marine first, and you go straight into a factory before Command Center. But he's just done a completely normal build order. He's like, build Reaper, make Command Center, make Reactor. He's actually gone even Reactor before Factory. What the hell, man? It's a weird build order for GUMIHO. Oh, okay. He's going to go 2 racks. Okay. So GUMIHO's definitely playing a different opening. This is actually the game I saw the least of live. I think I had to go have a shower. So, like I said, I've seen parts of this series, but there are parts of the openings that I did not necessarily get to notice when it was on live last night. Reaper chasing after the Zealot. I was very hyped as well for these matches. Seeing a top 4 Classic, GUMIHO, Dark, Solar, it's not your normal 4 guys at the top, other than Dark, who obviously had a finals early this year versus Maru. Reaper's going to take out the Zealot. Good micro. Kind of poor micro for Classic, not protecting that with the Stalker. And you got to kind of wonder why you're pressuring with this if you're then not even going to commit in with the Stalker at all, because, oh, there's Marines in a bunker. So it does feel very safe for GUMIHO so far, and it is going to be, interestingly enough, a Stargate opening for Classic. Not just a Stargate opening, but a Stargate on the natural. This is like, haha, your Reaper's going to jump up the ledge and go, where's the tech? And I've just built it in plain sight at the natural. That's kind of funny. It also gets across the map a little bit quicker, Oracle being rallied forwards. It is a 3 barracks build order, which is quite threatening against Stargate. I would say Oracle is much better than Phoenix against 3 racks. The problem with 3 racks is you get so many Marines out so early. Stargate units are good in small skirmishes. They're good at picking off a Marine here, a few SCVs there. When there's 30 Marines with stim hitting you at like 5.5 minutes, having an Oracle or 2 is almost worthless. It does not help. Having 3 or 4 Phoenix does very little as well. You really want to get up to Colossus as quickly as possible. Super fast 4 gas, but the Robo, he's forgotten to start his Robo. Classic, wake up, buddy. Classic, he's got no follow-up tech right now. You need to be going Robo. At least his Oracle's going to scout this in a moment. He could technically go Storm Drop behind this, but he's building a Fleet Beacon. The Mad Lad is building a bloody Fleet Beacon right now. The Oracle comes in, manages to grab an SCV. I think he could have got a little bit more damage than that. Looks like he was worried about Widow Mines, but now he sees extra barracks with Tech Labs and he realizes what's happening. I think you have to go Colossus here. Carriers are good, but not if they've opened 3 racks. They're going to hit you with so many Marines that it's actually not going to work out. Now, maybe Classic has been watching our episodes of Mape the Ape. For those who don't know, Maple's a 6K MMR semi-pro on the NA server who's basically just plays like a baboon every game, has done some really cool stuff recently with carrier builds and doing these oddball pushes, but Classic, I've never seen do this. We have seen, oh my god, he's doing it. Classic tilted Maru off the face of the earth in 2018 on Cyber Forest with a Tempest Rush. But that was a very different build. That was a single Stargate pumping Tempest from very early in the game into a Nexus, and he combined it with 3-Gate Adept. Classic is going 2 Stargate Tempest versus 3 Rex. Now this, technically, you can get over the dead space out here or down here, or you can use these little bits of terrain, and you can kite Marines pretty well as long as you've got cliffs and terrain to hide behind. The problem is, if those Marines ever get underneath the Tempest, they will crap all over them. But remember, the Tempest has way higher acceleration than it used to have. It's quite nimble compared to the old Tempest. So these guys can be microed pretty well. The fear I have for Classic is he's taking a 3rd base and pumping Tempests in a Forge. This man is playing 4 Tempests, I imagine, into Carrier Cannon after that. This man is bringing out the memeiest of builds. He says, you tried to mech me twice in a row? I'm going to get you with Tempests, dickhead. And honestly, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Apologize for my French, that's the only way to describe the attitude of Classic's build. Let's be real, guys. A bit of a cheeky D-head once in a while mixed into the channel. Hopefully you don't mind. Shut your ears, children. Tempest's going to go in here and start to pick off some SCVs. There we go. Oh, here we go. Okay, already picking off SCVs. Yeah, GUMIHO has to go across the map. If you go here, the Tempest's just going to kite back into the dead space. GUMIHO does a very smart move and says, okay, so my opponents just set up very slow artillery in a field in front of me, and they killed a few of my guys. Now I could charge into the line of fire of those artillery, or I can go around and destroy their entire camp, and that's exactly what he's doing. Ooh, good stasis trap, buys a bit of time. There are a few Tempests at home, and artillery is not really a good example. I always say that Tempests are like snipers, because they're kind of like a very specific long-range unit that picks at the opponent. Nice target fire to get those repairing SCVs. But notice GUMIHO actually pulls his SCVs away, and it baits the Tempest into the turret. Nice micro by GUMIHO. This turret is buying so much time, and as long as he repairs it again, he's going to buy a lot of time. Okay, it looks like it's going to go down, which is unfortunate there. The Tempest will die. But wait. No, he's fast repairing, and he saves the turret while doom dropping the main. Oh no, Classic, get those probes out of there, dude. Get those probes out of there. He's killing a lot of SCVs with his Tempest at the same time, but it's going to be so hard to defend. Oh no, the bio comes in the front just before the extra cannon finishes. The battery overcharges too late. And this is how you pick apart a Skytoss player. It's all about using the mobility of Terran. There's still Marines up in the main. They're getting cleaned up by the Adepts. In the natural, finally getting cleaned up, but will he be able to kill the 3rd base? If he can kill the 3rd and pull out, he's done well. Tempest number 1 goes down. Tempest number 2 goes down. Oh, he killed 20 SCVs. He is up in workers, but he loses his third base, and he's on a fleet of Tempests. You can't mass Tempests. This is so dumb, Classic. 4 or 5 Tempests, anything beyond that, they're all overkilling the same targets. There is no reason to get this many Tempests. He should swap to Carriers. There's no reason why he should keep building Tempests here. Carriers are a much more well-rounded unit than the Tempest is, guys. Classic playing a very weird style of mass Tempest right now, and GUMIHO so far has done great counter damage, but he's only got a few Vikings, 20 Marines. He is still in a very high-pressure situation. Barely saves the medevac. Tempest coming in right now. He's building a mama! Oh my god, he's making mama! Okay, guys, I didn't realize this was episode the 17th, Fat Mama's house, Big Mama's house. Gosh, man. Okay, he's going to recall home. Very good move. He knows there's an army coming. Very good recall. He's got to get these Tempests out here. He's got to pick at this army. I think GUMIHO has to pull back. Seeing these Tempests, he should just run away. He's going to man mode it! GUMIHO! Gonna try and just man mode it. The Tempests need to micro. They need to get out of there. Those Tempests need to stutter step. Run, run, run! Tempests are not good at standing and fighting. Like I said, they're like snipers. They're there for shooting from afar. It's like using some sort of scorpion to shoot from a mile away onto the city walls and try to just, you know, do some psychological damage. But in a raw fight, their damage output, they attack so slow. The probes are getting gunned down. Splits into the main. And GUMIHO dismantles this excellently. I do wonder how this would have looked if GUMIHO didn't open 3 racks. Because I feel like Classic's plan was not necessarily lined up to match against the 3 racks build order. And he just ended up kind of sticking with what he did anyway. I do think Carriers would have done really much better, though, in the battery overcharge defending there. Marines coming back in. Oh, no, he's going to lose another Tempest. Oh, that's unfortunate. Chunks of Tempest going flying. Main Nexus goes down, 40 probes, and of course, 5 Vikings behind. He's got 2 starports pumping Vikings. He's making bio off 3 barracks. You don't need normal production. 3 barracks, 2 starports, that's all you need here. Who needs medevacs? Medevacs are for cucks and tryhards. And GUMIHO is neither of those. GUMIHO is a man that is looking for the counter to the Tempest, and he knows that that will win him the game. Unfortunately, Mama did not get time to pop out. Tempests are a long-range sniper unit. They are not a core army unit for a reason. Classic tries a really funky build, but the 3 racks matches up perfectly against it. Alright guys, going into the next game, GUMIHO's opened up with a gas first opening. No scout. And that's always nice. I feel like if you scout with a gas first, you already delayed, you know, you took the gas a bit early, you're a bit lower on minerals, then you scout, it's kind of awkward. And this is why you go command center on the high ground, because you usually want to squeeze a really quick factory in, but if you go Reaper into factory, well, guess what? You don't have space to be building a marine and a bunker on the low ground. And if you don't have the space to afford that, you have to just rely on your wall off. So I expect a Reaper, and then he's going to lift the barracks, build a reactor. Second gas before second depot is one of the nice perks of gas first. Because you're not building that marine, you've got 1 extra supply free to build an extra SCV. And you can start the depot way later when you go for a gas first build. It allows you to really speed into the second gas, the factory, the starport, and go for some medevac aggression, a quick Banshee, you know, something like that. Alright. Reaper's here, just kind of waiting. He wants to see an Adept come out, and then he'll jump in. Shade cancels itself. He's just going to try to run in. GUMIHO looking for the scout. Probes pull back. And the Adept will shoo him away. I think he's thinking of circling north. No scouting on the tech available just yet. Oh, he's going Hellions. Okay. So pretty quick starport as well as double Hellions coming out of the factory. The Adept comes across the map. It could be in trouble. Do we go Cyclones after this? I really don't think it's that worth it going Cyclones unless you've got some units on your side of the map to kill. Like if you see the Protoss move out, sure, build a few Cyclones. But otherwise, yeah, I like this way. 4 Hellions, and he might just try to dive in. Remember, Classic hasn't been walling off consistently. As I say that, Classic starts walling off this game. I guess he identified its gas first, because the Reaper's later than normal. The command center's on the high ground. He goes, yeah, Hellion run by is a thing. Let's deal with it. Banshee and Cloak on the way. Ooh. GUMIHO's doing a very tricksy build. Nice wall off. I mean, it doesn't completely wall it off, but it's good enough. These Hellions ain't going to do much. Reaper comes in from the high ground. Gets 2 probes. If we can get 4, it's not too bad, but it looks like it's just going to be 3 probes for now. Hey, the Reaper. He lets the Reaper leave. That's nice of him. GUMIHO's like, I can't believe I got out of here. Now, if that Reaper could lure the units to the left, these other 2 aliens could drive in there. But for now, just backing off. And it is going to be 2 Cyclones, in fact. Okay, GUMIHO's really hoping to catch some units in the middle of the map. Maybe it's just because it's the only thing he can build that can actually fight right now. So he feels like he'll be bare naked without them. And I do wonder, is this going to be another mech game? Banshees are an amazing harassment unit, but... Nah, second barracks goes down. Okay. What about the tech here for Mr. Classic? Quick third base into Robo and third gas. So he's decided to just go for that. Oh, genius! Oh my god, sorry guys. I just rewound a few seconds. The downside of using a replay, I apologize. Whoa, genius probe scout here, looking specifically for air harassment on the left side. Wow! I'm sorry guys, my apologies for that little break there in the immersion for a moment. The vision button is right next to the back button. I should really unbind that back button. But unfortunately, Battle.net keeps resetting my profile every time I change regions or log into the campaign. So I have to then remake my my layout from a standard layout, and I forget to change it. Apologies for that. Banshee coming in the left side. Now, he's got 2 of them. But now that he knows there's Banshees here, he shouldn't really be taking damage. Notice he's got a battery going up in each base. I actually don't agree with this. I think this is a big waste of money for Classic. A shield battery can stop a single Banshee from killing probes, but if they group up, they can still just one-shot workers. So I think you're already having to build extra observers and leave stalkers at home to defend the Banshee threat. And you're going to build a shield battery in each mineral line. Well, you're going to have to transfer to your third now anyway, so they're going to be exposed over there. So this is what I'm talking about, is like he's still going to find damage. And I feel like the 2 shield batteries, they're kind of helpful later on against drops, but... Nice play for Gumi. Just gets an adept, gets a probe, and he knows he's being spotted. So he's like, the threat of the Banshees right now is more effective than anything else. If I can make him build another shield battery, keep his stalkers at home, that's going to be great. You can see Classic here, his probe counts kind of sucks this game, guys. At 6 minutes, he's only at 47 workers. So even though he had a quick third, he hasn't used it. Just the threat of the Banshees has actually paid off. Now, obviously, the third command center is only starting for GUMIHO. And his stim and shields and whatnot are massively late. Hasn't even started combat shields yet. But he's at a decent economy, 50 workers. He's continuing to build. So it looks like GUMIHO is happy to just kind of progress to the next stage of the game, and that's where it's going to go. Interestingly, is this going to be Storm, or are we just doing a charge Archon timing? Okay, it looks like a charge Archon timing attack. He does have 8 Stalkers, but nothing defending the third right now. The Stalkers, the Observer, are nearby. Oh, he's ready for it. No, he pulls away at the last second. Oh, Classic. Okay, blinks towards it. The Observer's a little slow, though, and that means he's used his blink, so he can't blink across. Remember what I said about shield batteries not really defending your base. Luckily, though, good Stalker positioning, but oh, okay. He sieges the Observer to get a temporary boost to vision, allows him to kill one of the Banshees. Now the shield batteries are good, but he lost 6 probes. His Forge is very late. He's making Storm. It does feel like Classic's a little blind in this game. This Stalker spazzing out right now. Finally going to move that forward to get some info. And I think Classic's very kind of just in the dark about what's going on in this game. He's going up to 8 gateways right now on this 3-base economy. GUMIHO on 58 workers. When this third floats out, he's going to instantly just pull all of his workers and saturate it. And notice GUMIHO has spread his excess workers across both bases so that they can be maximally effective. I love it. Really nice additions here for GUMIHO. He's now adding an armory. I assume that's just to make his Widow Mines invisible, as well as eventually to start +2 weapons when the Engineering Bay finishes +1 armor. Raven Bio moving forward, looking for observers. Observer does come in from the right side. He sees the SCVs and he's like, whoa, is he pulling the boys? Then he's like, oh no, you're just transferring workers. Okay, good to know. Raven spots the Observer. GUMIHO is like, get out of here. 4th base on the way for Classic. Classic's at 63 workers. He's making High Templar. He's moving out. Oh, he's looking for a timing attack. If he can catch GUMIHO in the open and drop a few good Storms on that bio, he could just collapse over the top and kill everything. He's got 4 High Templar, 2 Archons, a bunch of Zealots. Oh, we accidentally canceled the Warp in there. Unsiege the Prism a little bit too early. 2 more High Templar coming in from behind that. I think that's meant to be an Archon, but maybe it's just meant to be extra Storms. But GUMIHO has a really good setup. GUMIHO has a really good setup. Oh, watch out for the Raven. Raven tries to get an interference matrix, doesn't get it down. The Blink Stalkers come forward and take it out. But the High Templar are really far behind. Classic needs to back out of here because all of his Zealots are already gone. His Zealots went way ahead of the army. They took a massive Widowmine shot, and he was so busy microing against the Raven, trying to make sure his Prism didn't get interference matrix, that he's bled out his Zealots. And look at GUMIHO's spread. So there's no way you're going to get storm damage now. There's also the Banshee coming in, trying to kill the Templar Archives, which is cute. It's going to recall 2 Stalkers. I definitely think it's pullback time for Classic. Great defense there by GUMIHO. And he's feeling very good after defending that. Because look, guys, we can see there was no probes built for this 4th. +1 armor's done, but where's +1 attack? You know, the Forge is not really upgrading very much. Oh, I like this move, though. Classic's going to try and equalize the economy by going for the Storm Drop. And GUMIHO doesn't have anything to spot this ahead of time. Oh, God, this is going to be massive. He's going for it, but GUMIHO reacts very quickly. And, oh, no, Classic shows that it's a High Templar drop as well. And he's leaving it idle. Classic, what are you doing, mate? Oh, God, okay, he saves it. I was about to have a panic attack, dude. This is like the centralization of Classic's power is in that Prism. He needs to recall it right now. And look at this. GUMIHO's reaching for it. He's trying to catch it, retreating up this right side of the map. He's given up on it now by the looks of it. Especially as Classic's army comes forward. This Prism needs to come back and join up. You do not want to attack into this, Classic. Classic's just headbutting into it. A brave move for Classic without the Storm Drop being in the fight. It's a little risky, but the Storm Drop's coming in from the right. That Storm Drop could jump on it. I do think Classic could smash this army now with the Storm. Good pullback by GUMIHO. GUMIHO's still looking for pickoffs, though. Dancing on the edge of danger. +2 weapons is on the way. He's got a... Did he build a second starport? I thought I saw one, but it looks like no. It is still just single starport. Only 5 barracks as well. GUMIHO's got a giant army right now, though. He's got a big army advantage. Classic's going to ambush him. Watch out. GUMIHO's not watching. He takes a big initial storm. He does split backwards. Oh, big storm on the right bridge as well. But there's no numbers behind it. Classic was down 30 army supply when this fight started. He only had a handful of +1 armor Zealots and an Archon or 2. Even with massive storms, there's nothing to capitalize off the back of it. And storms alone do not win a battle. GUMIHO's dregs of his army spread in an arc, and he manages to clean up most of the Protoss stuff. There's 3 observers here. Colossus are building behind this. Classic does manage to clear that position and hold the bridge. Oh, man, with those initial storms, that was a big mistake from GUMIHO. That could have been game-ending. Classic could have destroyed him if he had a few more Zealots, but he's been probing up that 4th base. He's making +2 armor. I don't agree with that. I don't know, maybe. I guess he is still heavy on Zealots. Oh, he's got 2 Forges. He really needs to get attack, though. He really needs to get attack for those Colossus. Otherwise, they are going to struggle to kill anything, especially when you get Marauders on 2 armor. They start to diminish the Colossus damage quite significantly. That becomes... What are you doing? Oh, he's got +1 attack. I'm blind, guys. Never mind. I'm blind. He did get +1 attack. Pig's blind. He's still going to be doing, what is it? 2 times 9 damage. 18 damage for each Colossus shot. Which is not too bad. Oh, ow, ow. Okay, Widowmines there do fire, but they don't really get any big shots. Good response so far by Classic. Uh-oh. That Widowmine's a bit of a nuisance, though. And he will fire, take out just a single extra probe. Looks like with that cannon, those Stalkers should be able to take care of it. This one, cannon starts there, but that Widowmine will still get a chance to fire. Stalkers actually... Oh, he walked in and lost a Stalker to the Widowmine. That's unfortunate. Whoa! GUMIHO takes a 4th and immediately goes Fusion Core... 2nd and 3rd starport. So he's rushing range liberators. GUMIHO is the only Terran that still does this. You guys who've been watching my channel for a long time know that for many years, I basically would always go get a 4th base and immediately rush range libs, sometimes even doing it on 3 base. I was like, bio, range libs, that's how you beat Protoss, best composition in the game. Everyone's forgotten about it. Everyone's been so addicted to EMP and just Marauder micro and just bio ghost killing everything. Everyone except GUMIHO seems to have forgotten about range libs. Now, don't get me wrong. People say, oh, I saw Maru play range libs the other day. Yeah, after he builds his 12th command center. That's when he thinks about range libs. Cure, at least 7 bases and 10 orbitals before he thinks about making range libs. Like, most players just stay bio-mine ghost. GUMIHO, though, is like, no. I will rush those range libs. He splits up his bio to harass. He forces a recall to the top left, dives the bottom right. Nice moves. Just gets a few probes, cancels/kills the 5th Nexus. Really well done. And as these libs start pumping out, it's going to be a nightmare for Classic to deal with. This army's still waiting on the right side. 3 Liberators building right now. As I said, there's 3 starports, guys, so he should be able to build more than that. He cancelled his third starport, or I'm blind. I only see 2 starports right now on that building tab. Maybe cancelled it, maybe never started it. Could have just been confused there. Might have been one of those things where I saw it building and then I went to the structures tab. Anyway, Bio Ghost comes in. Nexus is going to go down. Oh god, get out, get out, get out. GUMIHO sacrificing a lot of army here. This is a questionable trade for GUMIHO. You never want to be attacking in one position alone. He's trying to dive the left, but that's way far behind. Classic kind of screwed up here, though, and underestimated that Bio, and he left Stalkers to fight it on their own, so the Bio's actually traded pretty decently. 2-1 Bio versus now 2-2 Stalkers. Oh, GUMIHO gets another base. Oh, this is where Classic starts to fall apart, potentially. Vikings not catching a Colossus, not catching a Prism. They fly forward. I don't know if that was meant to catch Colossus on the way home. They end up killing an Observer and all dying. GUMIHO, get out, get out, get out. He does save 2 medevacs worth of units. Actually kills a few Stalkers there as well. Units lost tab is still in favor of GUMIHO, and he kills a bunch of bases. He has a 5th command center on the way. Now, you might think Protoss has a scarier army, and they kind of do, but +3 weapons just finished for GUMIHO. GUMIHO is doing his single engineering base special. No, he actually built a second eBay. He's just forgotten to use it all game. He's re-dropping to distract, and he's got mass range libs building. He's already at 6 Liberators. This counterattack needs to do damage for Classic, but GUMIHO is aware of it. This army in the top left still being a nuisance. Classic trying to rebuild his 3rd, but he knows he needs to do damage, and he needs to do it right now. GUMIHO leaving Liberators sieged on all these paths, moving his army back and forth. Every second that goes by, 4 Liberators are building at a time. GUMIHO is maxed out. He's got +3 weapons. His ship weapons is almost finished as well. Classic's trying to find an opening, but it does not exist. This is the problem with losing your economy. You become so forced to be aggressive. GUMIHO knows that all he needs to do is stop this attack and he'll be good. Oh, he's going to shove the ramp. That's a surprising move. The High Templar are going to zone back the Bio army. Stalker's doing really well versus libs, but there is a tank on that far left raining down death. Those storms need to land on the Bio. Stalker's trying to take out the libs. That tank doing so much damage on the left side. The storms are fantastic, but Ghost coming forward, and they are raining down EMPs on the High Templar and the Colossus. Not enough units there for Classic. Great pulling back on all sides for GUMIHO, and he manages to clean up the army, and that should be that, because remember, he already killed all the bases. His 5th base is still alive. Classic has not really rebuilt his economy. He's trying to make some High Templar, some Colossus, but this lib range Bio army is coming forwards for the counterattack. A bit disorganized right now. Observer does get picked off. Oh, this lib siege is brutal. I mean, you can't really attack into that, can you? What are you gonna... You've only got Stalkers for anti-air. If you can intercept them before they're sieged and land a storm on them to soften them up, the Stalkers can kill them much easier. But look at that. He's got to defend the base, but he can't. Classic trapped between a Terran and a Liberator place. And that's a very bad place to be, guys. When there is someone flying overhead, dropping their bloody Concord cannon shots on your face. I mean, this is the sort of AC-130 freedom that you deliver in a Call of Duty campaign. This is, we're here to help, Protoss. I know you're sick of these executives and these adjudicators just raining down on you and not letting you guys vote. We're going to bring the power of the Dominion. We're going to let you guys vote for your Emperor, build golden statues to Mengs. Trust me, you'll love it, they say as they rain down death, recalling into Liberator zones. Ow! The Stalkers try to blink past, but the Lib zones are brutal. And GUMIHO dropping that Terran freedom all over the Protoss. Ooh, absolutely brutal. GG, well played.